Sunday. Actually, it is not morning anymore. It is now 1 p.m. But it's still Sunday. So look at that. I got something right. I wanted to make a video because I was playing Diablo 4 and sort of running into this annoying issue where, as you can see, I was being sort of throttled in message that I could send to trade chat. And so these were all uniquely different messages, right? So each message attempt that I was sending was something different, and it didn't matter. It was still throttling me. And I was just trying to ask some follow up questions to something I think somebody was selling. And, this sort of destroyed the natural flow and cohesion of the conversation. And I thought this was sort of odd because it's a Diablo 4, right? We're not talking Diablo 2, right? We're not talking some early MRIC frameworked Battle.net, We're talking what should be a modern chat capability. And it just seems to not have that, right? And so I decided I was going to work on this problem myself, mostly because I have some plans of something I'm building, a web application, sort of a multifaceted product that I want to make for myself. Um, and so I wanted to kind of just work on this because I kind of want to do probably add my own chat to my web application. So I'll probably wrap this into a DLL library and kind of run with it from there. Now, could I have probably downloaded someone else's NuGet package and just sort of saved myself a lot of time? Sure, but I like I like to code. It's enjoyable to me. It's cathartic. It gives me a dopamine fix, and I would know how my own thing works. It's just, I don't know. That's just where I'm at. Not necessarily saying there's anything right or wrong one way or another. It's just what I do. So I started kind of working on this project here. Let me switch over to window capture so we can get a nice, I don't know why that's offset like that. Let me fix this. Uno momento. Hopefully anyone with boomer eyes like mine can see what's kind of going on here. All right, good enough. All right, so really not too complicated, right? So this is just .NET. That's what I coded. C Sharp, I guess, is more specific to the language, but .NET, I'm a .NET developer. Um, so, anyways, I made three class files. I had to re-add a lot of boilerplate code and top-level statements because the newer stuff, the newer C Sharp and what have you, doesn't require that, and that's just so I sort of I'm self-taught, right? I didn't go to school for this stuff, so I mean, sure, while I can probably accommodate a different direction and different way of doing things, this is just the way that I sort of learned, so that's the way I'm gonna keep doing it. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this real quick and just sort of show where I'm at on it. There's still quite a bit of work that needs done, so we're just gonna throw in a screen name here and say hello, and it's not gonna work, right? Well, actually, we're hitting a breakpoint, which is fine. So we'll remove this breakpoint just temporarily and hit continue, and oh no, it does actually. All right, so how are you? I'm good. You? So really, not much going on here, right? So obviously nothing super elaborate. Wow, I just realized you can't even see that. Super annoying. All right, let's hit display capture again. Let's move this up here. So anyways, actually nothing too elaborate here, right? Just a basic little chat box that I made. And that's just where we're at right now. So turn this off, close out of this. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of quickly go over what I got here. So under chat box, and this may not end up being the final name I settle on, but this is just really just doing some basic color changing because I'm going to need to obviously highlight certain things and pay attention to certain things. Globals, this is kind of what I like to do. I like to create my global variables in a separate class file for a variety of reasons. And then obviously our program file with our program entry point, right? So um, nothing, nothing too wild. The architecture here is pretty simple. We just have a chat list, or excuse me, a list of strings that we're creating. First thing we do is we create a new list. Um, we create some of the boilerplate structure that's needed for the chat. And then we go through and everything that's in the chat history, we write it out. Not the most efficient way of doing something, because if you think about that, that means it has to go through that list every time this loop fires, right? And that's probably not the most efficient way of doing things, and we're going to have to add a limiter. So I don't even know if I really like doing it that way, but that's just kind of where we're at right now. But the main thing that I wanted to kind of show, right, is I'm going to create this trust level, right? And so this trust level is what I created over here in the global. It's just a basic integer. You start off at 100 points, right? Nothing too wild there. You're trusted when you start off, right? And so what we're going to do now is we're going to start to manipulate that trust based upon the behavior somebody does, right? So, and this is the part that I kind of wanted to show, right? Like how this isn't that hard of a thing to accommodate. And obviously, there's going to be nuance with Diablo 4. I don't know how it's built, how it's architected, anything like that. But at the end of the day, string manipulation is string manipulation. It isn't exactly rocket science, right? If I can figure it out, and you know, and I'm far from the most intelligent person out there, then I think anyone can figure it out, right? So what are we doing here? So first thing we're doing is we have this if case logic, depending on your flavor of speak, where we're basically saying let's take the current input and let's see, does it equal the current input? If it does, then we're going to need to move some trust. So obviously that doesn't make sense, because of course it is going to match that, right? So really what we want to do is we want to say is the prior. So that's the first thing I need to fix here. Is I need to say, okay, is your prior message going to equal your last prior message? So what we're going to probably need is we're probably going to need a little link here, right? Because we need to find out what was the last thing that the user said, right? And so we now have a username, which is quite nice. So what I might actually do, the more I think about this, is it might make more sense to actually turn this into a key value pair. Probably do like a string, right? It ain't gonna like that. So we'll do key value pair. Still want to call all that the same. So here, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some minor changes here. So all this is still the same. What we want to do is we want to do message, or excuse me, value. And so that all still is the same. We don't actually need this anymore, do we? I'm sinking. No, because I think what we're going to do now is we're going to roll this over to here, and we're going to say this is, yeah, you know what, let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of this. We're actually just going to put it here. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and throw this here. So what we're doing now is we're going to, so that's now our message, which makes sense. Right, it still makes sense. I think this still makes sense. Alright, and so now we're going to actually put the username. We're going to say chat say chat history dot key, and then we're going to separate it with a colonoscopy bag. Um, that's going to have to get changed because uh, this is still fine. We just now need to have the username becomes our key and our input becomes our value. Um, what is this angry about? It's not going to do. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So we want to do. Let me just delete this. Try to remember what options we have here. So we get a key and a value. So we want to do a new key value pair. So we want to do good name here. What's a good name? Chat add that's not gonna be. It's gonna be a key value pair, and it's going to be. Why are you angry? Cannot declare a variable of static type. Interesting. You would think you could do that. So we're gonna say chat add. That doesn't seem right either, does it? What am I not doing right here? Collection defines a key value pair that can be set or retrieved. Okay, that's what we want. And it still seems angry. Isn't that what we just did? Why are you being a goofy goober? You're being a goofy goober. Creates the instance of the key value pair, T key, T value, right? So, you know what? I think it's because we are missing our string. Yeah. All right. So, I'm trying to think syntactically what makes sense. This may just be a comma, right? So this may just be username and then input. Probably not the right way to do that. Can I convert it to string to what chicken? So we probably do need to do this. And then come over here and do this. Still nothing like it. It's like, what the hell are you doing? A local parameter input cannot be declared in the scope because the name is being used in an enclosing local scope or defined in a local parameter. The value input is not declared. Let's see what kind of options it gives us. It's probably going to like just close the entire thing and say, get out of here. You're an idiot. Alright, so this, man, why am I just drawing a blank on how you usually do this? This is definitely not right when I look at it. So we want to create the key value pair. I don't think we would want to say new. That doesn't seem right. New. Yeah, but that doesn't. I don't know. I don't think that's accurate. So we already know we have a new key value pair. So maybe, and then, yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Chat add key equals, it's not actually correct, but we'll just leave it there for a second. And this becomes username, and this becomes input. Still unhappy. We need this to be value. Still unhappy. Property or indexer cannot be assigned to it as read only. What the hell are you talking about? I'm having a mental breakdown here. All right. To keep this moving forward, what I'm going to do is cheat, and we're going to go to ChatGPT. Let me pull it up 1 second here. Fix syntax. This is honestly a lot of my life is just figuring out what the hell am I, where's my syntax wrong? New key value pair username. Okay, no, actually we were pretty much right there. All right. So this just needs deleted, and this just needs to be username input. Probably should call that something else. All right. So now at that point, we are now we now have that. Uh, and what we're going to do is we're just going to throw this here, and we're just going to do a really quick test just to make sure the chat still works. And if it does, we are now positioned to go ahead and start manipulating our trust level here. So we're going to go ahead and hit run. It's going to ask for a username. And we broke something already. Object reference is not set to a potato baking. Local 4 was null. I've never seen that before. That's an interesting deal. So what do we want to do here? Message and what am I? Oh, you know what? Because it's empty, right? We haven't actually done it yet. So what we want to do is we want to say chat history. Let's stop debugging. Stop the debugger, motherfucker. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tell it, we need to determine if chat history is new, fresh, whatever. So really, there's a few different ways we could do this, and there's probably going to be a better way, but to keep this moving, I'm just going to do something very simple, and I'm going to say if chat history dot count, why is that not giving me this is still a key value pair, yeah, and we created this as a list, right? Private sec, no, this needs to be a list. This needs to be list. And then we need to come down here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where were we? We were up here. So now dot count is less than 1. Alright. Now why are you angry? We're probably going to have to create indexing on this. I really don't want to, but let me think here. For each message in chat history. Alright, that makes more sense. Chat history.key. Have you met Ted? Let me think here. So this is going to go through each one. So this actually just needs to be message dot key. This needs to be message dot value. So that makes more sense. All right, now let's do a little running run here. Make sure nothing explodes on us. Our name is Naz. Testing chat stuff. All right, not working. that's pretty much expected. All right, where's my read line? All right, here's my read line. What I need to do is I need to have it actually output data. So we need to do console dot write line. And this is just going to be username. So we need to do username, and then colon space. Alright, save that, test that. Alright, that should be just right, I guess, not right line. Bloop, 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 bloop. Run it again. Run it again. We're running it again. Running it again. Hello. Alright, that fixes that. Now we gotta figure out, oh gosh, surgical site's itchy right now. So now, to get back to where we were, we want to obviously have it output the this part, right? This is our add to chat, right? So that's what we're doing here. So let's think about this for a minute, huh? Why do I have this? I know why I have this, but something's not right about that. Like I just left it just as an if statement. Might be an idiot sometimes. Okay, so what we actually need to do is we need to grab this, delete this, come over here, put this here, grab that, put that there, put that there, and we say if chat history is greater than or equal to 1, then we're going to run this. Um, and I don't think that's going to fix it, though, right? I don't think so. Test. No, I didn't think so. All right, so what are we missing here? So we are getting our key value. We want to do each one in chat history. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a breakpoint because I just want to just get a little looky see at some of this. Are we already on the break? We are already. All right, so that's interesting. So we're going to move this over for a minute and we're going to hit F10 on this. Okay, so yep. So we now hit test. And when we hit test, it says, alright, that's fine. Okay, I see what's kind of happening here. So we're actually hitting our logic already. So we need to fix our logic real quick because we're just immediately skipping things and not doing the thing that we wanted to do. So, so what we're gonna do is we're just for now we're gonna say false, or not false, but true. And now we'll sorry, going a little quiet here because I'm sinking a little bit. All right, so we're actually skipping all this. Oh my gosh. I just really wanted to test this. I didn't want to get into the link stuff quite yet. Um, so we'll just do this. We'll just grab our key value pair and just throw it up here for now. Because again, we're just doing a chest. Oh, what the hell? I didn't like that. What? Why are you angry? All right, so we're just gonna comment that out. Delete all these breakpoints because I really don't need a break in right now. So we're just doing a quick test. Test. Jeez, are you serious? This is my life. All right, so we know we should be adding this. Um, so one thing I'm curious about, it is possible that our key value pair is zeroing out every time we loop through. So let's stop here. I really feel like I should probably move that. Like I don't know. Well, let me think here. I mean, I'm fine with that. All right, let's just throw in a 1 again. Now, alright, once again, my damn surgical site's just so itchy right now. So I want to look at chat history yet. So you see that chat history is actually 0. Or I don't think we're actually adding. Yeah, I think that everything's working except for the fact that we're not actually appending this. So we want to keep all this, but what we want to do, probably could have just hit end screen. We want to do chat history dot add, and then we want to add all this crap in there. And of course, that's an absolute mess. we don't want it to do that. It just needs to do this. Alright, so that should be our correct way of doing that. Alright, let's run that. Nas. Gosh, these damn breakpoints. Continue. Test. Alright. So now we can actually see, now it did just break it, but we, in theory, did already fire off on some very basic logic there, right? I'll hit this again so you can kind of see it. So if I do once, if I do twice, as you saw, it zeroed that out. So something was firing, that was clearing it out. But it's generally working. We just have to now, yeah, we have this, which is probably a little bit of a problem. Alright, so we know we're getting here and everything there is going fine. So now what we want to do is we actually want to start our link stuff. So first things first, we're actually going to take this and this. These are our case logics. So our first case that we want to do is we want to say if the person is spamming. If the, well, we'll say spamming duplicate message. Duplicate messages. The person is spamming in general. And there'll be more, right? Like we're going to obviously go quite a bit further with this. We're going to say if the person is not spamming, and yeah, I mean, there'll probably be tons of case logic here. So either way, so this is going to turn into an else if. Else if I'm just going to throw something in there for now. Doesn't need to be anything too elaborate. Just something as a placeholder. We will adjust. And so, yeah, I mean, we're almost there. I mean, obviously, I'm already 30 minutes at this video. So, like, what I want to do is I just want to show sort of an example of getting that link logic going so we can kind of sort of see. And yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's a fascinating thing, right? It's a fascinating thing that you know, I could come up with a better way of doing this probably, you know, in a couple hours, few hours maybe, by myself, versus a whole team that they probably have for designing these sort of things. And historical, right? Like they should already have stuff like this lying around from prior games, prior iterations. I mean, chat is a pretty simple thing for a game company to get going. Anyways, so what do we want to do here? So we're no longer going to say true, right? We're going to now say you have a chat message, right? So we're going to say if input is not equal to null, all right, we'll say empty. So now if there's anything in the input, right? So input is, again, this is our input where the user puts in their input for chat. Structure for the user's name in the chat, right? Alright, so we know now that's empty. So first thing we need to do is we actually need to determine, are they spamming? So we're going to use some link. I love link. It's one of my favorite things. If you're not familiar with link, link allows you to sort of look through in-memory data to sort of figure out what's going on, what is it doing, why is it doing it, blah, blah, blah. Maybe not why it's doing it, but what, you know, you'll see. So what we want to do is we want to what do we call it? I guess vet or qualify the message. So a good variable for this would be what do we want to call this? vetted message, I guess. That makes the most sense, right? Oh god, try not to vomit here. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to obviously look at the chat history, right? And it already knows the kind of where new versions of Visual Studio already kind of know where we're going with this. So where? So what is this saying? So this is saying X. So X, and this is kind of saying where as well. Where X dot, right? So in this case, it's going to be the value, no, the key, because we want the key, right? Um, that equals the current person. We don't want to be looking through someone else's chat, right? Like we want to look at their stuff. So we're not necessarily doing that. We're going to say username. And so actually this is not the vetted message. This is users messages. Um, so now we have all the messages that the person has done historically. So now what we're going to do is, yes, we're going to do that. There will need to be more elaborate something, because let's say the person is trying to it isn't necessarily, because you don't want to break this, right? Like you want to make it so a point where, like, let's say I was sending messages, right, and the messages that I was sending had some variance in it, and the variance was every other message, right? So maybe I have a macro, and I'm spamming the macro, and in between the macro I'm chatting. Well, I still need to be able to catch that, right? So there has to be a little bit of logic there that says, okay, this person isn't necessarily spamming back to back, but they're still spamming like every other message, right? So we need to kind of account for that. So what I want to do is read through all of it and find any of the messages that they have done that are the same. Now we're going to have to probably go a little deeper and even say, all right, well, what if they just change a few characters, right? Add a few dots or something, because now they're finding ways around the chat filter. And we'll get into that in a minute, but that's the more like advanced filtering. That's sort of where we get to play with that trust level a little bit more and get a little bit more, like, rather than a minus 20, right? Maybe we're minus in a couple of points or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But at the very least, right now, what we want to do is we want to say, okay, so for each message in the person's message, find me the messages that match what they put in, right? So what we want to do is we're going to say var matched, or we'll call it potential spam, right? And here we're now saying let me think here. Actually, I think this needs to be more of a case logic. So I think this needs to be if. No, we don't want that. If message dot value, and now we need to normalize this, so to lower equals input to lower. So now we've normalized it, right? Like we're now working with the same thing, apple to apples kind of thing. So if so, we want to, what I want to do is I want to create a new list here. List string messages new list. No, I don't want to do that yet. We'll call it matched messages. Yeah, that works. And variable cleanup you can always do later, right, during a refactor. Say, okay, I don't really like what I got going on here, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit, which is a totally doable thing. All right, let's see, where are we at here? Why is this not over there? That's going to trigger me. All right, so that's why, because this is not right. All right, and I don't know why the hell we have that there. That's goofy. So if the message to lower equals input to lower, we're then going to add this message message or match message, add message key. What? No, value. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now at this point we're now building. We have now built a list of potentially matching messages. And again, we'll probably do some sort of history. We say, all right, well, we only care up to their last X amount of messages, and then we'll look the other way, kind of thing, right? So this is there's going to probably be another class file I'm going to build with far more elaborate logic, but again, this is just really too short a show, so this video doesn't turn into a 3-4 hour watch me struggle to code video. I just really kind of want to show the um, how easy. And again, when I say easy, it's because I'm assuming people that are better at this would be doing this than me. Um, anyways, and they have the time, the resources. They're working a full time. They have their QA. They have all the stuff that they need to really knock this out. There's no reason that this should be the way that it is. And it helps me kind of wake up a little bit here by doing some of this. So anyways, so now we have our matched message. So what we want to do is we now want to probably just going to delete all of this crap here. Yeah, I just don't think I need that right now because I don't want this messing with this as I'm working on it. Alright, so we now have matched messages, so now we need to count and say, once this is done, we need to say, yeah, if the count is greater than 0. So now at this point, we have found that they have spam messages that are, that have been found, right? We've detected some potential spam. Again, we'll put in finer logic to kind of finely tune this. But the first thing we want to do is we're going to drop the trust, right? So the trust, which is now 100, we're going to now say trust minus 50. No, fine, minus 20. So we're going to say, okay, you're spamming, so we're going to remove some of your trust. This is an integer, right? Yeah. So it might be best to just do add. No, gosh, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, you know what? We'll probably have to do it as trust. I don't even know if this will actually work, but we're gonna, because this would work in PowerShell where you kind of overwrite by referencing back to itself. I'm not sure if that will actually work, but we'll look in case it's not. All right, so if trust is obviously greater than 20, but we're going to say greater than, no, we're going to say less than, because I want to track less than. So we're going to say less than 60, right? Now at this point, we want to warn the user. So this is actually going to be a chat box function. Chat box dot chat font yeller. Where's my yeller? All right. So here we're gonna say put a couple stars. We'll say oh no, warning, 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 warning. I'm gonna make 2 of these. I made this nice and obnoxious, just temporarily, maybe forever. Who knows? You are at risk of chat throttle. All right, so now we're kind of getting back to sort of the yellow stuff that they're doing. But obviously, in their case, they're just saying, nope, go away. You're not allowed to talk. Uh, so now at this point, where did our input go? So chat history add. Yeah, we don't want to do that here anymore. We want to snap that, remove it from here, and we're going to allow them to continue to chat. Else, we're just going to let them chat, right? And I think we're ready for a primitive test. Yeah, let's just do a real quick test here. See how this rolls. Roll, roll. Did not work. All right. Didn't think we'd get that lucky. All right, let's do a little debug. See where are we broken. Roll. Oh, double R's. All right. All right. Let's see what we get here. Alright, so console read line, we're going to say test 1. Alright, if input equals nothing, it is saying, alright, it's not equaling nothing. Yes, that's correct. Alright, so now it's going to look for messages. It found none. Obviously, there are none defined. Nothing there. So it's going to go through that pretty quick. This if match message, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's also a problem. So really what we want to do is we actually want to take our else statement here and roll it down here, right? Because now we don't have anything allowing for that. All right, so roll. Why can't I type? What the hell's happening? That continue. Oh, there it goes. Roll. Rolly. Weird. Super weird. Alright, we're getting something else going on here. Alright, let's stop again. Let's go ahead and do that. Test. Alright. First thing we want to do is check our chat history. We do have 5 messages in there. So we can see that our history is saving, which is nice. That's what we want to see. So this, more talk. Input isn't 0, sure. So do we have any matched messages? We shouldn't. I haven't spammed yet. What we want to really see is we want to see why is it skipping back to the beginning of the loop, which that it should do. Alright, okay, so that's also a problem there. We don't want it trusting up here, so we need to move that to like here. New string, blah blah blah. Oh, okay, I see. We're skipping this, so less than or greater than 1. Really, we need, yeah, it should be greater than or equal to 1. That is the wrong logic. Story of my life. Alright, let's start over with a fresh test here. We're about there to kind of demonstrate this. I'll go ahead and do my full name. Get rid of this damn breakpoint. Test 1. Test 2. And once again, we're clearing out when we shouldn't be. So annoying. Annoying. Yeah, it's interesting because once it seems to be like a limit of 2 and then it just kind of craps out. So we have to find out why is that. So I'll say it. Why? Alright. If input is nothing, so this should be true, and we're now going to execute all this. Obviously, there's a lot there. We can just go ahead and skip all that. So if the count equals 0, which it it is. So we're now adding to our chat history, which we should. We're gonna reloop. Our chat history comes up. Our username again. Input. Oh, you know what? We didn't. Why didn't we? Here, let me. I want to do this. Let's first off. Let's delete all breakpoints. Breakpoint here. Um, throw in some crap. Hit continue. So chat history count 6. False. What am I not doing? Did I not just change this? I could have swore I just changed this. Did I change it back to the same thing? I may have. I may have. That is definitely a possibility. Let's try again. That's the thing about code, it keeps you honest. Honest. Call me Daddy. No way. Yes way. Okay, yeah. Alright, now we're going to spam, alright? We're going to say spam, 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 and that is not working. Alright, well, so now we're going to find out why is our spam filter not working. So we're going to come down here to this, make sure we're not getting some kind of weird situation where the trust level is still at 100. Our trust is 0, so we've obliterated our trust. So this should execute. It's interesting that it's not. Maybe there's something wrong with my, yeah, there it is. Why didn't it execute before? So weird. Super weird. Greater than 0, yeah, I don't know. Well, as you can see, it is working, give or take. I don't know why it didn't work the first time around. Let's just stop this. Start a new test. Nazarem, spam, spam. Please remove that. Hit continue. Spam. You know, I wonder if it's because we know it's working, but for some reason it's not working when it's not in debug mode. So I need to figure that out. But either way, you kind of saw the general gist, right? Like, I mean, I'm going to keep tinkering with this and I'll show off the final product, but, you know, we're closing in on an hour here, so I don't want to keep uh, eating up time. But the bottom line is just a little bit of effort really goes a long way. Like, all they got to do is just build something out that just doesn't say, oh, you've just sent too many messages, right? So they essentially are just doing it based upon a counter. Maybe it's a 30-second to 60-second counter where they say, "Oh, you just sent a message, and now another one, and now another one, all within a minute." That's too much. You're done. You're done. That's just weak and lazy to me, especially when they have the money, the resources, and and really the prerogative, the mandate to do so, right? Like they, not necessarily prerogative, but definitely the mandate, right? Like it's a social game. The fact that you can't have like a good conversation in trade is kind of annoying. I get that they're doing it because they don't want people to spam it or to overwhelm it, but Battle.net used to be like such a phenomenal social tool years ago, right? You go back 20 years ago, it was like one of the best platforms to have conversations on. And now it's just like it's so difficult. Not only not only because of like the lazy spam capabilities, but like really look at this, right? This isn't this is your chat box. There's nothing there. It's so ugh. Like that's it. This is the top of the box here. This is the bottom, and I'm on a G9. I'm on a big monitor. I'm sure there's some ways to make some UI edits to kind of make it a little bit better, but you think World of Warcraft, game's over 20 years old. You can really get in there and modify your chat boxes and resize them and do a lot of crazy stuff to make it better. Um, I'm of the opinion that when it comes down to development, that you don't make the decisions for the users. You give them options and you let them make those decisions. If someone's spamming, they can block the person. If somebody doesn't want to see this wall of text just rolling all the time as a part of ongoing trade, they can turn it off. They can do different things to sort of modify that. When you lock them out, right? When you stop somebody from doing something, well, now they have no choice and they can't really do anything about it, and it sort of just drives people away. Like, it's a goofy thing. It's a small thing. It's not going to cause me to quit playing D4. Um, but an accumulation of inconveniences like this definitely will. So I'll leave you with that. Peace.